Hey guys, Lena here with Neo-Pixl, and today we'll be going over the MathChop. So I've also put together this PDF showing the parameters in the MathChop, and you can download this or take a look at this on my website, and the URL is in the comments below. So let's get started with the constant chop and attach a math to it. In the constant chop, let's add a value of 2.5. Click on your math, and let's go through the OP tab. So channel pre-op, essentially this is adding a parameter to the value that is coming into the MathChop, and it's before it will be manipulated by the MathChop. So you can turn it into negative, positive, root, square, inverse. Similarly, channel post-op is the same thing, but it is added at the end of the value that's been manipulated by the MathChop. Okay, so if you have a constant chop that has multiple channels, let's add one. In this parameter, you can essentially add them, subtract, basically manipulate those two channels with all of these parameters. Combine chop, so say you have two constants that you want to manipulate in the same math, you can do that with this combine chop. So essentially they are the same parameters from above, and then you can add, subtract, multiply, divide, average, minimum, maximum, and length. Let's add them. Another cool thing about this OP tab is the integer. So essentially, this is kind of a rounding mechanism. So we did floor, so everything is being rounded down. Ceiling, everything's being rounded up. For the multi-add tab, I'm going to take away this constant. But essentially, with the multi-add, you can add an integer to these values, which is pretty cool. Additionally, you can multiply them by an integer as well. Let's reset the parameters. Right-click, reset parameter. Another really useful parameter in the MathChop is called the range. So this operator essentially gives you control over the value that is being inputted and lets you convert it to a value that will better suit your script. So I've done this for controlling the amount of noise, the scalability of an object, the distortion, etc. So if we click our constant, change our channel to 2, if you haven't done so already. Click your math, let's go to the range. So essentially it's saying from a value of 0 to 1, we want to convert that value from a value of 0 to, let's put 2 and see what happens. You can see here that our channel has jumped to 4. So this is a little tricky because it is proportionally changing, but it is also multiplying these values. So if we were to put 4, you can see that it's jumped to 8. So this is something you kind of have to really get into and mess with on your own script and see what happens. Let's go to the comment tab. Let's add another channel. So for the comment tab, you can see that there's this drop down here. Essentially, if you have multiple channels in the MathChop that you want to select to essentially control the resample rate, you can do that here. So we have 2 channels. Let's select channel 1, and then whatever input you've put as a sample rate match is what will be placed on channel 1. All right, guys, that's it for the MathChop tutorial. Thank you guys for tuning in, and have a great one.